What's up, everybody? This is Mrs. Skullface, and I am hosting for Dummies tonight to ask the other three dummies some more questions for Chapter 3. So I am joined by Mr. Bobby Skullface, Just One.
Yo, what's happening?
And Robert Detoff.
Hello.
So my first one is, what initially drew you to each other? After further getting to know each other, what is your favorite thing about each other?
Oh, wow. In the feelings. For Robert, it was when he came on Shattercast, and I was so worried that he was going to be a weirdo. I was so worried. And when he wasn't a weirdo and like fun and funny and interesting, like I was like, cool, I'm locked in with this dude. I'm in. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, real fast, didn't you pay to have a spot, like a guest spot?
Can you believe that the guy charged me $250?
I think that's important for people to know that don't know. That would explain like why he's really, dude, this guy's paying $250 to come on the show.
That was actually Laura's idea.
Well, no, that doesn't sound right though. I love the show. It was more like a support us kind of thing. They had all this merch and stuff. And then the big thing was like $250, get on the show. And I was like, boom!
And it was the most worthwhile $250 you've ever spent.
Well, it was funny because the top two things to get was on the show and then a commission.
Cartoon.
The commission from Fear Corps and you getting on the show were the first two things sold on the GoFundMe.
Oh, right.
You know,
I was worried that it was going to be taken.
Yeah, it blew my mind.
But you got to remember, $250 at that time, like that was still pricey money. Like now, $250 is like whatever. Yeah. $250 was expensive back then.
Yeah, dude. Like it was more expensive than any third party piece ever made.
I just started out on my own. I wasn't making anything, but it was important. It was important to me personally, and it's only money.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with, I think, Oscar like the week before, and I was like, man, what if this dude is a weirdo, man? But then when he came on, I was like, man, this dude's funny, he's cool, he's chill. And the interesting thing about Jisk is I don't necessarily remember how we started talking. Like, I know I came on a Realm show and you had to get my number to call me to talk me through it because you were the only person that used Apple.
Yeah, that had a Mac.
And that's how we started talking, but I don't remember how we kept going.
I don't know. For me, it's like I know the people that I'm gonna be friends with.
Yeah, I remember.
And I don't know how else to explain it. I'm gonna wind up being friends with this dude. It's not like it's just for trying. I just knew it was just gonna happen.
I remember you saying that to me, early on. You were like, it's funny. I remember watching videos, and I was like, me and this dude gonna be friends.
Yeah, I knew.
So I tell you, my favorite thing about Robert is an uplifting force. Robert is one of the few people in my life that can elevate me out of anything, whether it be, and Robert has interjected in my life during sad moments, angry moments, manic moments, and whatever it is, he has this tendency or this natural ability to kind of bring me out of it and level it off and make it all seem like none of it really matters and just have fun and don't take it all so seriously and blah, blah, blah. So that's my... Can
you train me, Robert, on how to impart that on him as well, please?
It's appreciate that, Bobby. That's very nice. That means a lot to me, actually.
And I'll say for Jisk, Jisk is probably the only person, the only friend that I have on this planet right now that I can engage in a conversation about almost anything. And the conversation elevates to a level of kind of intricacy and engagement that exceeds almost any conversation I'd have with anybody else about anything. Like if I had a conversation with some random Joe Schmo at my job about what our parents mean to us, it would never get as deep as a conversation that Jisk and I might have about road signs. Like we can take anything and really take a deep dive into it. And I find a lot of conversations that I have with him kind of intellectually satisfying on some level.
All right, Jisk. I didn't know Jisk much at all, until Bobby introduced me. Reno.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
And he called it. He was just like, you'll like this guy, and he was right. And what's weird to me in a good way is in this world of any possibility, I met somebody who's very much like me in my own eyes. He's a collector. He's into this crazy. He's artistic. He's funny. He's intelligent. He's willing to talk about anything and think about anything. Very creative. That's rare. But he also professionally does the same. He's in the same field as I am on the opposite side. So I can talk to Jessica about Transformers and also work, which is so weird because I can't talk to anybody in my work world about this stuff,
right?
About my guilty pleasures, and I can't talk to the people in my guilty pleasure world about work,
right?
Jisk, he's like straddles both. It's amazing to me. I forget what drew me to Bobby because I remember just listening and watching and stalking and just funny. I was like, I got to find out who this guy is, and I found out who he was. With Bobby, I can be myself as well, and listen, that's very difficult for me. I cannot be myself with many people. I can be pieces of myself with many people, but depending on the situation, there's other cards being held back. And with you guys, especially, Bobby, I can relax. That's not easy for me.
My personality, especially if I'm close to somebody, is to rip on them. Like, that's just kind of like how I show that I care. And I find that you both have that too. And I think a lot of people think that they have that, but they don't.
Yeah.
Because I think especially the three of us have said some to each other that's not nice at all, but it's so funny. It's so funny. And like, that's the thing about it. And so I think to have that, when it's like not serious at all, you're never going to take it serious and it's coming from the most loving place.
Well, I think,
cool.
To cut in, I think it's serious to find humor in stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's serious. I
agree.
It's important.
I agree.
What I value the most, Bobby, about you is that I think that you're going to give me your honest opinion, even if it's hard to hear, like in the best way. Like, I've come to you with stuff thinking that like, all right, I'm going to hit you with this. And cause I know you're going to give me the answer that I need to make this move. And you don't give me that answer. And I'm like, that's how I know that. I can't get into it, but that's how I know it's legit because I'm like, all right, well,
yeah, I just,
you're just like an echo chamber.
No, yeah, you're arguing with Bobby about something, debating something, or even arguing, and you don't agree with what he's saying, right? Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. But let's say Bobby's right, but you still don't agree because you don't see it. It's like, because I trust the guy, I can put it on the back burner. And I'm like a back burner kind of person and mull it over and be like, all right, well, I trust him. I don't agree. And then watch it work out. I'm like, see, I'm glad I didn't like come to some conclusion. Like, no, yeah, you know what? He was right about that.
Bobby's crazy till Bobby's right. But like,
Bobby has a tough love approach. So if he knows what he's about to say is going to hurt you, but you need to hear it, he's going to say it anyway.
So my question is, if you didn't have anything, and like collection wise, but you can only collect either Hasbro, a single third party company, or Takara, who do you choose to collect and why?
So we have to choose Transformers.
Yes.
So it would be Fans Toys for me.
Even though that the amount of characters would be limited.
Even though the characters would be limited.
Okay.
Yeah. Same with me. Fan Toys. All the way.
See, I would say Fans Toys, but I feel like
here comes the new age.
No. Oh, interesting.
Figuratively and literally.
You know what? I think you're right. I think I'd say new age.
All right. So my next question is, what's stopping someone or a fan or us from doing a crowdfunded third-party Transformer?
Like, there's nothing stopping it. It's like, it's a lot of money. I looked into having...
How much money?
So I looked into like 15 to 20 grand for repaint. So I looked into having Storm, like a legend scale Storm made, which was like a joke on the Seeker mold, but do it brown and yellow and call it Storm. And I reached out to a company. They'd already made a Starscream, and they hit me back. They're like, we'd love to. And they quoted me, and I want to say it was 18 grand.
And how many pieces does that give you?
It's been a long time.
We when I was with the run, we did the same thing. We wanted to get like a small run made for something, and I feel like it was like the same thing around like between 10 and 20 for like 200 pieces. I don't remember it being that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
A lot of pieces.
So what year has been the best year of third-party Transformers?
I want to say like 17, like 2017, maybe 2018, like that Constructor era. MMC was producing Masterpiece scale G1 stuff. Make Toys was producing Masterpiece scale G1 stuff. Generation Toys, Toy World, or Zeta, whatever you want to call it, and then then Fans Toys, obviously, and then Keith as well. Like, that was the golden era. Bag Cube. Like, there's like so much to pick from, you know?
For me on that one, it is like 2018, 2019, and not to use this, but when it was like the Combiner Wars, when everybody was making a combiner and they seemed to be doing good. Like, think about how many versions we got of the Stunicons, and they're all not bad. It was at that time where it was just hype, with just a lot, like you said, a lot of stuff was coming out. People were making some cool stuff. It just felt like, oh, this is it. This is what everybody's been waiting for right now.
I would say 2014 when MP10 came out. Back in the beginning, because that was the dopamine drop for me. I remember, like, I was in Toys R Us. It's Christmas, and then I'm in Toys R Us. I knew nothing about MP at all, and I look and I see it wasn't MP10. I saw MP11, and I didn't think it transformed because there were no images of an alt mode on the box at Toys R Us. And then I saw MP10 standing there next to his trailer, and there were no images of an alt mode on the box, you know, but there was a trailer. So I'm like, what? It must transform. But that moment, I mean, going from the best thing I had seen at that point was Transformers Prime, which was itself great. Then I saw this stuff, and it just opened a whole doorway in my brain. And that moment, I remember it. I can smell it. You know, that was the most memorable moment. That was the beginning for me.
All right. So one last kind of complicated question. But if you were to launch your own new Transformers show or movie, what would the premise or the basis of it be, since there's been so many things that you have not necessarily cared for?
So if it was me, I would do a G1 show that filled the gap between season 2 and the movie. That's what I would do. There's a huge time jump from season 2 is like 86 and the movie takes place in 2005. So I would fill in the gap from 86 to 2005.
I would go back to before the Transformers the movie.
Same.
I would actually I would start from the beginning. I would do G1 all over again, but I liked the way that, like, I don't remember if it was the Dreamwave comics or the IDW, but in the beginning they kind of did it a little bit. It just seemed a little bit more serious. So I would do it again, but just not make it campy and make it kind of like a serious, but about them just kind of coming back to Earth. Dude, there's one scene where it's like you see Devastator kind of form and he's just tearing up. I don't know. It seemed like it seemed more horrific from the human side, which is interesting to me, I guess.
All right.
No, but it would be cool if they hit the IDW stuff. Like, that would be really cool.
Or a DJD, like something. I just want it to be serious. I just don't want it to be all goofy and lame.
Yeah.
I need to see dudes hugging. I want to see that space between season 2 and the movie.